You're looking at one of the world's most sophisticated cordless telephones. And this phone just a few years ago would have cost thousands of dollars. Tonight you can order this phone for only $199 on the SHRP Image Living Catalog. And in the process you'll become an expert on cordless telephones. I'm Richard Thalheimer, your host, and this is the SHRP Image Living Catalog. Our 56-page color catalog may be lurking in your mailbox this week. If it isn't, let me show you later in the show how you can get a copy for yourself. If you have one, you may have noticed already that there are many different cordless telephones in it. And on the first spread, right inside the book, is a beautiful setting with a couple lounging on a deck with a cordless phone right here beside them. And this phone is sitting right beside me now, and I'm going to share it with you. You know, cordless telephones have come a tremendous distance, technologically speaking, in the last few years. Now there are at least 10 different models on the market, if not 20, and 5 of them are right in the SHRP Image catalog. And all this technology has come about because engineers have learned how to use the power of FM radio waves to carry a telephone signal from a base, which plugs into your wall phone jack, to a remote handset. Now the remote handset is this part right here. This is called the remote. It sort of looks like a very futuristic modern telephone. The difference, of course, is that there's no cord between this and the base. You know, in a conventional telephone, you hang up by placing the part that you talk into, this remote, onto a base and just hanging it up. With these cordless telephones, there is no way to hang up. So the first thing you ask about a cordless telephone is, how do I hang it up? And the answer is, every cordless phone has a hang-up button. And if you understand that principle, you've already mastered step 1 of cordless telephoning. Look on any cordless telephone, and if you come in close, I'll show you on this one, and you'll see at the top there's a little switch that's marked standby or talk. And every cordless telephone has one of these. No matter which brand it is, they all have a switch that says standby or talk. When you put it over to standby, you've in effect hung up your cordless telephone. When you move it to talk, you've answered your phone. Now if you forget to move the switch and you're in the backyard, anybody that calls you will get a busy signal. So the first thing you have to think about when you have a cordless telephone is remembering, hang up that phone when you're through using it so that you can receive another call. Then when a call does come in, this phone will ring no matter where you are. Whether you're in the backyard or the barbecue, you'll get that ring. Now there's several different models, and tonight we're going to educate you on the differences between them so that you can shop more intelligently for a cordless phone in your future. They come in different prices, and the first one we're talking about, which is on page 3 of the new SHRP Image Summer Catalog, is the Uniden Extendophone Model 4000. This is one of the most widely advertised national brands and sells for $199 in the SHRP Image Catalog. It has a few advances which until this year were non-existent. For example, when this base is plugged into your wall phone jack, you can walk up to the base and answer the phone even if you've forgotten your remote and left it outside. You walk up to the base and there's a button here that says talk, and you just talk into it like an intercom and you can answer the phone. When you release it, you can listen to the reply. Now you take your remote and carry it anywhere in the house that you wish, and when the phone rings you can answer it. And this phone for $199 has a few unique features which a few years ago you couldn't get, such as an automatic redial button on the pad so that you can redial the last number you dialed. This is very handy for getting through busy signals, such as when you're calling the airport. It also has a page button right here called Page, and this is so that you can buzz somebody at the base or that they can buzz you. If somebody buzzes you, you'll hear this little tone, and if you buzz the base, you'll hear the tone the other way. That way you can use this base as an intercom to call somebody at the remote. And just like you could answer an incoming call at the base by pressing the talk button, so you can call from the remote to the base on the intercom, and they can talk to you over the intercom channel by using this same button here. So the basic advances that you're getting this year, which you didn't have a year ago in cordless telephoning, are an intercom feature, the ability to answer a call that comes into the base simply by pressing a talk button, automatic redial, a page which lets you page somebody at the base on the home intercom, and a range of 700 feet, which means that you can carry the remote as far away as 700 feet from the base. That gives you a coverage of about 10 acres. and this depends upon the local terrain and any metal obstructions. For example, if you're in a warehouse with lots of steel beams or steel walls, what you'll find is you get less range. If you're out in the open, such as in your house or your neighborhood, you may find you can get the full 700 feet, assuming that there isn't a strong radio station right next door, because these do work on FM signals, and occasionally you get slight static from a local FM station. But by and large, they work real well, and you won't get that kind of problem. Now, $199 is what I call the Chevy Impala of cordless telephones. It buys you a good middle-range product that has the best in electronic components. They're solid state and high-impact ABS plastic, but it's not the most expensive, and it's not the least expensive. Let's look at a different phone that's a little bit less expensive and show you a comparison in price. Now this one, don't forget, is $199, and they all work the same way. You hang them up at night like that, and it recharges overnight so that you can use it again for another 12 hours of remote charging. Let me just pull this one over here. You'll see they look very similar. That's because they're both made by Extendiphone, and Extendiphone is one of the world's largest manufacturers of cordless telephones, and the one that the SHRP Image sells the most of. Extendiphone is owned by a company called Uniden, and they have a really good reputation. This phone looks very similar, but it's what's called a short-range phone. That means that this phone only goes for about 50 to 75 feet from the base, whereas this one goes to 700 feet. Now you may ask, why would I want a phone that only goes 50 to 75 feet? The difference is, if you live in an apartment where you don't go outside that much, you'll never get more than 50 or 75 feet from the base. And there's no reason why you should have a phone that goes any further. It's got the same features, the same pad, the same construction. The difference is the range. And it has one important feature. If you're near the base and you just remember to hang up your phone all the time, you don't have to worry about turning it off at the top like I showed you a few moments ago. And by saving that problem, by simply just hanging it up and having it automatically turn itself off, you'll find that with people that are a little bit older or have a little bit less manual dexterity in their hands, they don't have to worry about that problem. For example, if you're giving this to your grandmother so that she doesn't have to get up and run for the phone, now she won't have to worry about remembering to turn that little switch off. She can just hang it up, and she'll have a phone that will let her receive calls wherever she is, and if she remembers to put it back on the base, she'll never have to think about recharging or turning it off. Plus, you do save some money. This phone is only $129, and the first phone that we looked at was $199. Now, I might mention the numbers that you're seeing on your screen are toll-free phone numbers, and at our break, we'll show you how to use these phone numbers. The important thing to remember is that when you call the SHRP Image, you're calling our toll-free operators. The call costs you nothing, and by using your credit card, you can call our toll-free operators and order one of these phones sent to your house for a 30-day home trial. This will let you try one of these modern miracles for yourself and enjoy the fun and the freedom of cordless telephoning. Simply use your credit card, dial a toll-free number, tell the operator that answers that you'd like to order the Extendiphone short-range cordless for $129, or the long-range cordless for $199, or one of the phones that I'll show you in a moment. And they will send it to you on a 30-day home trial. That means if you're not 100% delighted with it and don't want to keep it for some reason, you can return it for a prompt and courteous refund. The SHRP Image is a mail-order company, and one of the premises of mail-order is that you get to try it for a while. That's one of the advantages that mail-order has over a regular store, is that they're already determined to let you try it, and if you're not happy, give you a full refund. Now let's look at a slightly more expensive telephone. This is also by Extendiphone, and again, we use a lot of these Extendiphones in our catalog because they've proven themselves to have some of the best features, excellent quality. This one is a little fancier, and it sells for about $200, a shade under $250. It's got one big advantage. It's got a little platform stand in the back that slides up, and you can see, you just push it up with your thumb. This little whoops, there's the intercom ring, and normally I would answer the phone and ask who's calling me, but I know that there's no one calling me. I'm just hitting it by accident. You can stand this phone up by itself, and you ask, well, why do you want the phone to stand up by itself? And the answer is because this phone has a speakerphone built in. In other words, you can talk to this phone hands-free, and you can talk from as far away as 6 feet, because it amplifies the call that you've got coming in loudly enough so that you can hear it 6 feet away, and so that you can talk to it 6 feet away. Let me give you a close-up of the control panel on this, and what you'll see is a volume control that goes from low to high. And this volume control here lets you adjust the sound so that when you're in the speaker mode, you can really hear it, or you can just hear it comfortably, or you can get it really quite a loud volume where 6 or 8 people can hear it together. Now, with the speakerphone, you can use this for hands-free conference calls in your office. You can use it for sharing a family conversation with a relative that's away. You can use it for doing work, going through files while you're talking on the phone. So you get a lot of use out of a speakerphone that you may not have contemplated when you first buy it. Plus, you get the advantage that if you're in a very noisy location, by using the volume control and the speakerphone, you can pump the volume up to a loud enough level that you can really hear it even if you're near an airport. Now, for that feature, you pay a little more. This one's $249. The standard phone we looked at was only $199. In addition, you get one other feature as well, which is what's called mute. This means if somebody calls and you want to put them on hold, you can press the mute button and they can't hear you, but you've still got them on the line, so you can talk to a friend and ask them if you'd like to go to dinner while you've got them on hold. This, of course, has the intercom, the beeper, as does the first one for $199. The middle one, the lowest price one for $129, does not have the intercom. So to summarize those three from Extendophone, you've got a $129 phone with no intercom, short range. You've got a $199 phone, which is probably the most popular seller, that gives you most of the features, an intercom, 700-foot range. And then if you want to spend a little more money, you've got a $249 phone that also has 700 feet, but gives you the advantage of a speakerphone as well. Now, these are three phones from Extendophone. In the second half of the show, we're going to look at two other phones from two different manufacturers that offer slightly different features. And once you've seen those, you'll feel that you're probably one of the most qualified shoppers of cordless phones in all of America. Right now, we're going to take a break and give you a chance to write down our toll-free numbers so that you can order one of these phones if you'd like at the end of the show. Also, in the last half, we're going to have a drawing. So come back in just a moment. See ya.
It's easy to order from the SHRP Image Living Catalog. Just have your credit card handy and dial our toll-free numbers. In California, dial 800-622-0733. That's 800-622-0733. For the rest of the nation, dial 800-227-3436. That's 800-227-3436. Our operators are on duty 24 hours a day, and those operators are SHRP Image employees. They're happy to help speed your order. If you'd like a year's subscription to our full-color catalog to read along with the Living Catalog, just send $1 to the SHRP Image Living Catalog,